Howdy guys, I am back. So we are on to the planning part of our learning targets. Our learning targets, I can analyze how setting influences character development by brainstorming, planning, and composing an extended constructive response. You should have this paper. It should be completely finished. That was the paper that we did in the last video. You were responsible for doing this side on your own. So now we're focusing on our ECR paper. And I know that most of everybody should be familiar with this kind of setup because we saw the sixth graders use it last year. If you're new to Peterson Middle School, this is kind of how we plan our ECR. So the first things first, and this is going to be this assignment, make sure that you are doing your best at it because it's going to be a major grade. So you don't want to act like it's not a big deal. And then the end of the 6 weeks is Friday. So first you're going to put your name. So I'm going to put my name just to demonstrate. And this seems like a lot, but once you really figure out that you've done most of this work, it's going to be fairly simple. You just have to use your brainstorming sheet to create that. So the thesis statement, the most important sentence we have done, okay? So you're going to basically copy that sentence. So let me show you what I'm talking about. The setting of war influenced Salva's character development by making him independent and whatever you put for that second blank, you're going to fill in there. So don't put a blank there. And hopefully the colors are helping you match what we're doing. So we're trying to get your brain to make that connection. So for example, that's going to be independent. That's the yellow one like we had there. And then whatever character trait you put in the green one, that's going to go here. Okay. So remember your thesis statement is kind of like your roadmap for your whole essay. So this first prong, the independent prong, is going to lead your body paragraph 1. And then whatever you wrote about for your green is going to be body paragraph 2. Okay? So let's keep on going so just we can demonstrate because I want you to be successful at this. So this is where we're going to use our planning sheet. So it says at first Salva was, and that's where I use what I wrote. So at first Salva was reliant on others. Okay. And then we already have our text evidence there. I'm not going to write that out for you because hopefully you have that and you know how to copy it there. Okay. Now, I know that on this one, I put on page 81, so you could change that sentence starter to say on page 81, the text states, and you could copy that quote. But you already have all the information there. Okay. I want to go over this then part. So then Salva became a leader. So, and then this orange part is kind of a hard part, but that's where you're going to show that you're going to try to sum everything up to where you sum up the fact that he's changed from being reliant to becoming a leader, right? So you have all these parts. You're just writing them in to there. You're writing them as neat as you possibly can because the neater you are, the easier it is going to be to type this paper, okay? Do not leave these blues blank. I'm leaving the blues blank because I'm not going to go to this through the step in this video of copying this down, but you have this text evidence. You need to put it there. And then you're going to do the same thing. So you should have this all filled out. Yours should not be blank like mine. And you're going to use that information to complete body paragraph number 2. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Your conclusion is going to be your thesis statement, but you're going to try to restate it in a stronger way. If you're ever struggling with this, you can use synonyms or you can try to flip the thesis statement. So you could say by Salva becoming independent, and blank, the setting of the war influenced his character. Okay, that's one way to do it. If you have another idea of how to flip that thesis statement, because you want to make sure you start with your thesis statement, and you want to make sure you end with your thesis statement. Okay, so you're working on this paper, you're working on filling it out step by step, filling out the text evidence. It should be pretty straightforward because you have all this information. We've done it in our brainstorming website. So remember, brainstorming paper. And then now you have this. And remember, this is going to be major grade. So don't skip it. Don't act like it doesn't matter. If you leave things blank, you're going to get points taken off. And then you're not going to really have a lot of time to correct it. So make sure you take care of business. Bye, guys. Hope you have a good rest of your day.